My name is Emily Carter. I'm 27. Last Tuesday at 6:47 in the morning, I was standing in my mother's kitchen watching her pour coffee into two mugs, one for her, one for my sister Lauren, while I held a stack of bank statements showing exactly $86,400 in transfers I'd made to her over 6 years, and she looked me dead in the eye and said, "You owe us more than money, Emily. You owe us gratitude." My father sat at the table behind her, newspaper raised like a shield. He'd been sitting in that exact position for 20 minutes, hadn't said a word. Gratitude? My voice came out steadier than I expected. For what, exactly? My mother set the coffee pot down with a sharp click. For raising you, for giving you opportunities, for not throwing you out when you were nothing but a burden on this family. Lauren picked up her mug, blue on it. She was wearing the silk robe I'd bought her for Christmas, $340, charged to the same credit card that was currently 11 points lower because of the car loan my mother had begged me to co-sign. "I have the mortgage payoff document right here," I said, sliding the paper across the counter. "Dated March 2022. You told me in May 2022 that you were behind on payments. You said you'd lose the house." My mother didn't even glance at it. "Numbers on paper don't change what you are, Emily. You were always the difficult one." Before I go on, if stories about standing up for yourself mean something to you, please hit like and subscribe, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from right now and what time is it there. "The difficult one," I repeated, the phrase she'd used my entire life. When I was 7 and asked why Lauren got a new bike while I got her hand-me-down. When I was 16 and questioned why I had to work at Target while Lauren got an allowance. When I was 21 and wanted to know why they weren't coming to my college graduation. "You're making this into something it's not," my father said finally, still not lowering the paper. His voice was flat, tired. "Your mother needed help. Family helps family. I sent you $1,200 a month for 6 years. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app. I have every transfer right here, April 2018 through March 2024, and according to public records, you paid off this house in full in March 2022. So where did that money go for the last 2 years?" Lauren set down her mug. "God, Emily, you're really going to do this? Keep a ledger like we're strangers?" "You're right," I said. "Strangers would have a contract." My mother's face hardened. "Get out of my house." "You're paid off house," I said. "Out, now." I gathered my papers, but I didn't leave immediately. I needed them to hear this. "The car loan you had me co-sign? The one you said was for emergencies? I just got notification that you've been late on 3 payments in the last 4 months. My credit score dropped 11 points. Do you understand what that means?" "It means you're finally contributing to this family instead of taking from it," my mother said. "Let me take you back 7 years to understand how I got here." I was 20 years old, 3 weeks from graduating summa cum laude from UNC Charlotte with a degree in data analytics. I'd earned a full academic scholarship, the first person in my family to go to a 4-year university. My graduation was on Saturday, May 13th, 2017, at 10 a.m. On May 1st, my mother called. "We need to talk about your graduation," she said. I was in my apartment, the one bedroom I shared with 2 roommates, eating ramen because I had $43 in my checking account until my work-study payment cleared. "I already sent you the details. I get 4 tickets. You, Dad, Lauren, and maybe Aunt Linda. Lauren's engagement party is that same day." I stopped mid-bite. "What?" "Derek proposed last weekend. We're doing a family celebration. Everyone's coming, your aunts, uncles, cousins. We've already booked the country club." "Mom, graduation is at 10 a.m. The ceremony is 2 hours. You could do the party in the afternoon." "The party is at noon, Emily. We already put down the deposit, $2,000. My hands went numb. "I've been working toward this for 4 years. And Lauren's been with Derek for 6 years. This is important to her." "What about what's important to me?" There was a pause. Then, "You're always the difficult one, Emily. Why can't you just be happy for your sister?" They didn't come to my graduation. I sat in that auditorium, summa cum laude cord around my neck, watching families cheer as names were called. When they announced Emily Rose Carter, I stood, walked across that stage, shook the dean's hand, and held my diploma while a photographer took my picture. The seat where my family should have been was empty. My roommate Jessica's parents took me to dinner afterward. Her mother hugged me, told me she was proud of me. I cried in the restaurant bathroom for 11 minutes. That was the first time I understood that I was on my own. I moved back home for 3 months after graduation while I looked for work. My parents charged me $400 a month for rent. My childhood bedroom, twin beds still there, posters of bands I'd liked in high school. Lauren lived there too, rent-free, planning her wedding. In August, I got hired as an entry-level data analyst at a logistics company, starting salary $42,000. I moved into a studio apartment in Charlotte, bought furniture from Facebook Marketplace, ate meal prep chicken and rice for months. My mother called in November. "We're having trouble with the mortgage," she said. "Your father's hours got cut. We're 3 months behind. They're threatening foreclosure." "How much do you need?" $3,600, just until we get caught up. I had $4,100 in savings. I'd been putting away $200 a month, planning to build an emergency fund. I transferred $3,600 that afternoon. "You're saving our home, Emmy," my mother said. It was the first time she'd used my nickname in years. "We'll pay you back as soon as things stabilize." She called again in January, and March, and July. Always the same story. Mortgage behind, utilities shut off, car payment due. Always amounts between $800 and $2,000. Always just this once, and we'll pay you back. I was promoted to senior analyst in year 2. Salary jumped to $58,000. The requests for money increased proportionally. In 2020, during the pandemic, my mother called crying. "We're going to lose the house, Emily. Your father lost his job. We're 6 months behind. They've started foreclosure proceedings." "How much?" $14,000. "I know it's a lot. I'll figure it out." I took out a personal loan, $14,000 at 8.9% interest, paid it over 2 years. My mother sent me a text. "You're a blessing. Dad and I are so grateful." They never paid me back. By 2022, I'd sent them over $60,000. I was living in a one-bedroom apartment, driving a 2008 Honda Civic with 170,000 miles, shopping at discount grocery stores. Meanwhile, my parents took a vacation to Hilton Head, posted photos on Facebook. My mother's caption, "Blessed to have family that sticks together." I didn't comment. In May 2022, my mother called with a new crisis. "The bank is requiring us to refinance. We need a cosigner for a car loan, just temporary, just to boost the approval. It won't cost you anything. We'll handle all the payments." "What kind of car?" "A sedan for your father. His truck finally died. Please, Emily. We can't get approved on our own because of the mortgage issues." I should have said no. I should have asked more questions. But I was tired, and she was my mother, and the phrase "it won't cost you anything" felt like a promise. I co-signed for a $22,000 car loan. 3 months later, I was looking at public property records for an unrelated work project when I decided to search my parents' address. Curiosity. Nothing more. The mortgage payoff was dated March 15th, 2022. I read it 3 times. The house had been paid off, completely, no balance remaining, in March 2022. 2 months before my mother called, crying about needing help with a car loan co-signature. 7 months before she'd called asking for $1,200 for mortgage arrears. I pulled up my bank statements, counted every transfer since March 2022. $26,800 to a house that didn't have a mortgage. My hands were shaking so hard I had to put my phone down. I called my mother. Where's the money going? What money? The money I've been sending you. The house is paid off. I saw the public records. Silence. Then, you're spying on us now? Digging through records like we're criminals? You told me you were behind on the mortgage. We had other bills, Emily. Do you want us to give you an itemized list? We're your parents, not your accountants. I want to know why you lied. We didn't lie. We said we needed help. We did need help. Just because the mortgage is paid doesn't mean we don't have expenses. You specifically said mortgage multiple times. You're twisting my words. This is why you're difficult, Emily. You make everything into a fight. She hung up. I sat on my apartment floor for 43 minutes, phone in my lap, trying to make the numbers make sense. $86,400 over 6 years, a paid-off house, a co-signed car loan that I was legally responsible for. I'd built their security while destroying my own. The car loan payments started coming late in October 2023. First one, then two, then three. Each late payment dinged my credit score. I called my mother. The bank is reporting late payments, I said. We've been busy. We'll catch up. This affects my credit. I'm trying to buy a condo. Then maybe you should have thought of that before making such a big purchase. You always overspend, Emily. I'd been saving for 4 years, had $78,000 in down payment funds. My credit score had been 742. Now it was 731 and dropping. In December, I got pre-approved for a mortgage on a penthouse condo downtown Charlotte. Purchase price, $990,000. The lender flagged the co-signed auto loan. We're seeing some late payment activity here, the loan officer said. If there's one more late payment in the next 90 days, we'll have to reevaluate your approval. I called my mother immediately. I need you to make the payments on time. My mortgage approval depends on it. Oh, so now it's about you? Always about you, isn't it, Emily? I co-signed as a favor. The agreement was that you'd make the payments. We are making the payments, so we're a few days late sometimes. Life happens. Stop being so controlling. Mom, please, I'm asking you to do what you agreed to do. You know what? Maybe if you'd helped more over the years instead of keeping score, we wouldn't be in this position. You're selfish, Emily. You always have been. She hung up again. I closed on the condo in February 2024. My credit score had stabilized at 731, just barely enough. I moved in March, bought minimal furniture, painted the walls myself. It was the first place that was truly mine. My mother didn't congratulate me, didn't ask to see it. When I mentioned it at Lauren's baby shower in April, she said, "Must be nice to spend money on yourself while your family struggles." Lauren was pregnant with her second child. She and Derek lived in a 4-bedroom house my parents had helped them buy. $40,000 down payment. Gifted. Lauren had never worked full-time. My mother called her the family person. The last time I sent money was March 2024. My mother called, said they needed help with property taxes. I sent $1,200. 3 days later, Lauren posted Instagram photos from a weekend trip to Asheville. My mother was tagged in them, smiling in front of a mountain resort. I stopped answering her calls. In June, my mother showed up at my office. I worked on the 14th floor of a glass building in uptown Charlotte, corner desk with a view of the skyline. I'd been there 4 years, had a team of 3 analysts reporting to me. I was in the middle of a meeting when my manager, Patricia, knocked on the conference room door. "Emily, there's someone here to see you. She says she's your mother." My stomach dropped. I excused myself, walked to the lobby. My mother was standing by the reception desk, wearing a cream-colored blazer, holding her purse with both hands. She looked smaller than I remembered. "What are you doing here?" I kept my voice low. "We need to talk. You've been ignoring my calls." "I'm at work, Mom." "This can't wait." She turned to Patricia, who was standing nearby, clearly uncomfortable. I'm Emily's mother. She's been having some difficulties, family issues. I'm just here to help. My face burned. Mom, please. I need you to understand what you're doing to your father and me, she continued, louder now. We gave you everything. We sacrificed for you, and now when we need you, you turn your back on us like we're nothing. Two of my coworkers had stopped in the hallway, watching. Let's talk outside, I said. No. I'm saying this here so people know what kind of daughter you really are. We raised you, clothed you, fed you. We never asked for anything in return except a little help when times are hard. And you? Her voice cracked. She pressed a hand to her chest. You accuse us of lying. You hoard your money in some fancy condo while your own parents struggle to keep the lights on. Something clicked inside me. Not anger, something colder, harder. I'd spent 6 years trying to earn her approval by opening my bank account. It would never be enough. I'm going back to work now, I said quietly. That's it? That's all you have to say? Yes. I walked back to the conference room. Patricia followed me, closed the door. Are you okay? She asked. I'm fine, I said. My hands were steady. My voice was calm. Let's continue. But I wasn't fine. I was done. That night, I went through every document I had. Bank statements, transfer receipts, emails, text messages. I created a spreadsheet, dated every transaction, categorized every request, cross-referenced every claim about the mortgage with public records. The pattern was clear. My mother had been lying systematically for 6 years. The mortgage was paid off in 2022, but she'd continued requesting money for mortgage help through early 2024. She'd told me they were behind on property taxes while posting vacation photos. She'd coerced me into co-signing a car loan and then deliberately paid late to damage my credit. It wasn't financial struggle. It was financial abuse. I scheduled an appointment with a lawyer, downloaded my credit report, documented the 11-point drop, the late payment notifications, the lender's warning about my mortgage approval, and then I waited. The confrontation came in August at my Uncle Mike's house. My mother's brother was hosting what the family called the annual Carter Gathering, a tradition going back 25 years. Everyone came: aunts, uncles, cousins, neighbors who'd known us since childhood. This year, there were 23 people confirmed on the Facebook event. My mother had been planning for weeks. She'd ordered a custom banner that read "Family First" and hung it in Uncle Mike's dining room. She'd made 3 casseroles. She'd organized a toast where each family member would share what family meant to them. I almost didn't go, but Uncle Mike had called me personally. "Emmy, I need you there," he'd said. "Trust me on this." Uncle Mike was the only person in the family who'd come to my college graduation. He'd driven 3 hours, sat in the audience, cheered when my name was called. Afterward, he'd taken me to dinner and slipped me an envelope with $500 inside. "Invest in yourself," he'd said. "You've earned it." So I went. The gathering was at 3 p.m. on Saturday, August 17th. I arrived at 2:55, parked down the street, sat in my car for 4 minutes, working up the courage to walk inside. Uncle Mike's house was a brick ranch with a wraparound porch, American flag on the mailbox, flower beds his wife Aunt Linda maintained religiously. I could hear voices and laughter from inside. I rang the doorbell. Uncle Mike answered. He was 62, gray beard, flannel shirt despite the August heat. "There she is," he said, pulling me into a hug. "Come on in, kiddo." The dining room table was covered in food: casseroles, salads, deviled eggs, sweet tea in a crystal pitcher. The banner hung above, "Family First" in navy blue letters. My mother was standing near the kitchen, holding court with my Aunt Rachel and Cousin Sarah. She saw me, and her smile tightened. "Emily, you made it!" "Hi, Mom." Lauren was sitting on the couch, her 2-year-old son on her lap. She didn't get up. My father was in the corner, talking to Uncle Mike's neighbor, Mr. Peterson. He glanced at me, nodded once, looked away. For the next hour, I helped set up chairs, poured drinks, made small talk with cousins I hadn't seen in months. My mother stayed on the opposite side of the room, orchestrating the event like a conductor, adjusting the banner, rearranging platters, directing people to their seats. At 4 p.m., Uncle Mike called for everyone's attention. "All right, everyone, grab a seat. Susan's got something she wants to do." My mother stood at the head of the table, glass of sweet tea raised. The room fell quiet. "I just want to say," she began, "how grateful I am that we're all here today. Family is everything to the Carters. We've been through hard times, and we've been through good times, but we've always been there for each other. That's what matters." Murmurs of agreement. Aunt Rachel dabbed her eyes. "Some people forget that," my mother continued, her gaze sliding to me. "Some people think family is about keeping score. But real family loves unconditionally. Real family sacrifices." My cousin Sarah shifted uncomfortably. "I'm proud of the family we've built," my mother said, "and I'm grateful for those who understand what loyalty means." She sat down. People clapped politely. Uncle Mike stood up next. He wasn't smiling. "Susan, I appreciate the toast," he said, "but I think there's something we need to address before we go any further." My mother's smile froze. "Mike, this isn't the time." "It's exactly the time." He pulled a folded piece of paper from his pocket. "Emily, would you mind standing up for a second?" My heart hammered. I stood. "Emily graduated summa cum laude from UNC Charlotte 7 years ago," Uncle Mike said to the room. "First person in this family to finish a 4-year degree. How many of you were at her graduation?" Silence. "I was," he said. "Nobody else. Susan, you and Robert didn't come because it conflicted with Lauren's engagement party. Is that correct?" My mother's face went white. "That's not— We had already made plans. You had 4 hours between the ceremony and the party. Charlotte to here is 90 minutes. You chose not to come." Aunt Linda spoke up. "Susan, you didn't tell us about Emily's graduation. You only mentioned Lauren's party." "Because the party was important. And Emily's graduation wasn't?" Uncle Mike's voice was calm but hard. "That's how you saw it?" My father was staring at his plate. Uncle Mike continued. "Over the past 6 years, Emily has sent you $86,400. I know this because she showed me the bank records. You told her the money was for mortgage payments, but the house has been paid off since March 2022. Public record. Anyone can look it up." Gasps around the table. My mother stood abruptly. "This is a private family matter. You made it public when you showed up at Emily's workplace and called her selfish in front of her coworkers," Uncle Mike said. My cousin Sarah's mouth fell open. Uncle Mike set the paper on the table. "This is the mortgage payoff document, filed March 15th, 2022, and this," he pulled out another sheet, "is a log of every transfer Emily made to you after that date, $26,800, for a mortgage that didn't exist." My mother's hands were shaking. "We had other expenses. We needed help. You took a vacation to Hilton Head in June 2022, I said quietly. Everyone turned to look at me. "I sent you $2,400 for emergency property taxes in May. You posted the beach photos 3 weeks later." Aunt Rachel looked horrified. "You're twisting this," my mother said, voice rising. "You're making me sound like a criminal. I'm your mother. I gave you life. You gave me a childhood bedroom and charged me $400 a month rent after college, while Lauren lived there free," I said. My voice was steady, calm. "You co-signed for Lauren's house, but made me co-sign your car loan, and then you paid that loan late 3 times to damage my credit score." "That's not— We didn't." I pulled out my phone, opened my email, handed it to Uncle Mike. "This is from my mortgage lender. They flagged the late payments on the co-signed auto loan. I almost lost my condo approval because of it." Uncle Mike read it aloud. The room was completely silent now. My mother's face crumpled. She turned to my father. "Robert, say something. Tell them she's exaggerating." My father finally looked up. His voice was barely audible. Sue, we did use the money for other things. You said it was okay because Emily was doing well. Doing well? I felt something crack open. I ate ramen for months. I bought furniture from strangers on Facebook. I took out an $14,000 personal loan to save a house you'd already paid off. I didn't go on vacation for 6 years because every spare dollar went to you. Lauren stood up, her son starting to fuss. This is ridiculous. Family helps each other. You're making a huge deal out of normal. Did you know about the mortgage? Aunt Linda asked Lauren directly. Lauren hesitated. No, but Mom and Dad needed help and Emily has a good job. A good job she earned, Uncle Mike said. While you lived rent-free. The room erupted in overlapping voices. Cousin Sarah was on her phone, presumably looking up the property records. Mr. Peterson was shaking his head. Aunt Rachel had her hand over her mouth. My mother tried one more time. You don't understand what it's like to raise a child like Emily. Always difficult, always questioning. I did my best. Your best was lying to her for 6 years? Uncle Mike's voice cut through the noise. Your best was showing up at her job to humiliate her? Your best was sabotaging her credit? My mother grabbed her purse. I don't have to listen to this. Come on, Robert, Lauren, we're leaving. But my father didn't move. He was staring at the mortgage payoff document like he was seeing it for the first time. Lauren shifted her son to her other hip. Mom, did you really tell Emily the mortgage wasn't paid off? We needed the money. That's fraud, Cousin Sarah said quietly. If you misrepresented what the money was for, that's fraud. My mother's face went from white to red. How dare you? I am your aunt. And Emily is our cousin, Sarah said. The one who helped me with my college essays. The one who drove me to the airport at 4 a.m. when I studied abroad. You lied to her. One by one, people started standing, not to leave, but to distance themselves from my mother. Aunt Linda moved to sit beside me. Uncle Mike stayed at the head of the table, arms crossed. My mother looked around the room, seemed to finally understand that no one was on her side. Fine, fine. Keep your precious money, Emily. I hope it keeps you warm at night, because you'll never have a family that loves you. I already have that, I said. I gestured around the room. They're here. My mother stared at me for 5 seconds. Then she walked out. The screen door slammed behind her. My father stood slowly, mechanically, and followed her without a word. Lauren looked between the door and the rest of us, uncertain. Finally, she said, I didn't know. About the mortgage, I swear. Then she left too. The silence that followed was heavy but not uncomfortable. Uncle Mike sat down beside me. You okay, kiddo? I nodded. My hands were shaking now, adrenaline finally catching up. Thank you. I've been watching this for years, he said. I knew something was wrong when Susan stopped mentioning you at family events, only talked about Lauren. I asked your mom directly last month if she'd been helping you, and she laughed. Said you were too proud to need help. Aunt Rachel reached across the table, squeezed my hand. We should have asked sooner. It's not your fault, I said. We ate dinner after that. The banner stayed up, family first. But it meant something different now. Over the next 3 weeks, I didn't hear from my mother or father. Lauren sent one text. I'm sorry, I really didn't know. I didn't respond. I did hear from a lawyer my mother hired. He sent a demand letter claiming I owed my parents $30,000 for room and board during childhood and emotional damages. Uncle Mike connected me with his attorney, who sent back a letter outlining the fraud, the documented lies, and the credit damage. I never heard from my mother's lawyer again. My credit score recovered slowly. I made every mortgage payment on time, refinanced the co-signed car loan in my name only after confirming my parents had sold the vehicle without telling me. By October, my score was back to 738. In November, I got an email from my father. Subject line, I'm sorry. The email was 3 sentences. Your mother and I are separating. I should have stood up for you. I'm sorry I didn't. I read it twice. Then I deleted it. 6 months later, I was sitting on the balcony of my penthouse, drinking coffee and watching the sunrise over Charlotte. It was April 2025. The condo was fully furnished now, real furniture, art on the walls, plants that I'd managed to keep alive. I'd been promoted to director of analytics. My credit score was 749. Uncle Mike had invited me to his house for Easter dinner. Aunt Linda was making ham. Cousin Sarah was bringing her new boyfriend. My father had asked if he could come. I'd said no. I thought about my mother's last words to me. You'll never have a family that loves you. She was wrong. I had Aunt Linda, who'd called me every Sunday since August. I had Uncle Mike, who'd driven to Charlotte 3 times just to have lunch. I had Cousin Sarah, who'd started a group chat called The Real Carters with me, and 4 other cousins who'd been quietly watching the family dynamics for years. I had Patricia, my manager, who'd promoted me and told me I was the strongest person she knew. I had a life I'd built with my own hands, paid for with my own money, earned through my own work. My phone buzzed. A text from my mother. I'm in the hospital. I need you. I looked at it for 10 seconds, then I blocked the number. If you're watching this and you've ever had to choose between family loyalty and your own survival, type "I chose myself" in the comments. Or if you stayed and set boundaries that actually held, type "I stayed and fought." Both take courage. Both are valid. The truth is, love doesn't come with invoices. Real family doesn't keep you in debt, financial or emotional. And the hardest lesson I learned is this: silence isn't peace. Silence is just the sound of your boundaries breaking while someone else gets comfortable. If this story meant something to you, check the description for more stories just like this one. Thank you for being here.